Hello Champagne Dreamers, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl, Miss J, the trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And for today's video, we're gonna be doing this look. This is not where we started, but this is where we ended up, and I'm loving it. So if you wanna know how I got this look, the products that I used, and all of that stuff, and watch me throw some makeup on my face, then stick around, we're getting into it right now. Alright, so I originally was planning something completely different. I was going to do this green, peachy orange kind of moment, and something happened, which happens a lot sometimes when you don't have a really strong plan. Sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, I'm going to paint my face, I'm going to play, I'm going to experiment, and I had a rough idea, and it didn't go well. So let me just put a picture up on the screen. This is what you almost had today. I know, scary, right? And so I decided to just wipe it all off and try again. And you know what? I was in the mood to play around with the new Club Nebula palette, which was from Kaleidos Makeup with Angelica Nyqvist from Sweden. And I am so excited that I got to play around with this. I am loving it. Now, because I wanted to have this super purple saturated moment, I did also pull in some shades from another palette from Kaleidos, the Escape Pod. And between these two palettes, I was able to come up with this look. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I apologize for my face in advance, but you're about to see it with a lot less makeup. In 3, 2, 1. Well, hello. I know you were probably waiting for me to be the potato face serial killer that you know and love, but I did already do most of my base and a little bit of the beginnings of my contour, just so that we wouldn't have to sit here as long. I've got plenty of Face Friday looks and a couple other Get Ratchet With Me's where I do the whole face, so if you want to check those out, you can check my Get Ratchet With Me playlist here, or over on JanessaJ.com, check out the Face Friday looks. So what I've got on so far, on my face, what I've got on my face so far, starting with primer, the I Heart Revolution Strawberry Whip Pore Blurring Primer, and the Too Faced Do You Luminous Primer. Foundation is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation in the shade 610 Cebu. For concealer, I've got the Benefit Boing Concealer in shade number 1 underneath my eyes, and shade number 2.5 down the center of my face. I contoured with the dark side of the Oma Beauty Double Take Strobe and Sculpt Stick in the shade My Fair Lady. Primed my eyes with the Ulta brand Matte Eye Primer, and put the Kimchi Puff Puff Pass Bake and Set Powder underneath my eyes and along the jawline, just to bake a little bit while we do the eye look. For the eyes today, I decided I wanted to do something a little bit more subdued, something a little bit plummy, purple, with a little brightness, maybe a little glitter, and I'm going to use two palettes from Kaleidos Makeup. The Escape Pod palette and the Club Nebula palette, which was a collab with Angelica Nyqvist from Sweden. So let's go ahead and jump into the look. To get started, I'm going to lay down some of this shade Naru, just kind of to sculpt out the shape of what I want the eye look to be. And I'm going to use a fluffy brush. I don't need this to be very precise at all. I just kind of sketched out a shape, and then now we're going to start building some more of those purple shadows around it. For the next shade, I'm going to go into this purple matte shade Rock Hopper, and I'm going to do that on the outer portion of the look, kind of building out the outer part of the shape and then up. I will darken a little bit on the outer V a little bit later, but I just want to kind of connect all of these shapes together and get the overall shape of the whole look. basic shape. The end. That was awkward. Next, I'm going to go into the darker purple matte shade Cylon, and I'm going to go ahead and darken just kind of this outer V sort of area. There we go. So I have darkened the outside of the look. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill in this kind of interior space. And that's where we're going to bring in some brightness as well as some shimmer. Ooh. So now we're going to jump over to the Escape Pod palette because that has some brighter purples. And so I want to take this shade right here, Soiree, and I'm going to use that starting at the inner part of the eye and blending it about halfway. Brush for this, but smaller, fluffy. So now we have some brightness on that inner corner. Alright, so next I'm going to take this shade Mardi Gras, and I'm going to use that to kind of bridge the gap between what we have over here and what we have over here. Use this fluffy brush that I've been using to apply these colors, and I'm going to go kind of back and forth between a lot of different colors and just work until I get a blend that I like. There was a little bit of fallout, as you probably saw me trying to like blow it off by myself. So classy. But we're done with the mattes. This is kind of the general blend. And now it's time to go in and add some shimmer. So I'm going to try something. This is where things generally go off the rails. So on the inner corner to add some shimmer, I'm going to start with this light kind of lilac purple shade. And this is You're My Only Hope from the Club Nebula. And then I think I'm going to do Nebula on the middle part over. This is like a fiery, pinky, peach, almost red-toned kind of moment. And it's going to be interesting to see how it combines with the purples. Now in the Escape Pod palette, I do have two purple shimmers. I have Space Oasis and Cosmic Cabaret. Depending on how the two from Club Nebula, if they don't really meld well together, I'll use one of these or maybe a little bit of both just to ease that transition. But I think that pinky peach red moment is going to add some real interest to this eye. Or it's going to make me look like a fucking clown! I'm also going to add some NYX Glitter Primer just to help me kind of define the shape. I think I want it to be sort of a faux cut crease. I didn't want to use white concealer. I didn't want the full cut crease effect, but I want it to be very precise. And I think it'll help it stick over top of these matte shadows. pretty. I like that. Knocking shit over. Alright, so now we're going to take that pinky peachy kind of shimmer. Jesus, take the wheel. I do love this color combination, but the shift from one shimmer to the next is a little bit abrupt the way that I thought that maybe it would be. So I think I'm going to use Cosmic Cabaret. I think that's a good mix. I think that's a little bit deeper. This one is a little too light. It's a little too close to the lighter shimmer. So I'm going to use this one to kind of help ease that transition, if you will. It's like anal lube for your eyes. We're done. So good. I love this combination. I love it so much! This is so much better than that train wreck I was doing earlier. Alright, so I caught up the other eye. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to wipe this powder off and I'm going to do the lower lash line. And I think what I'm going to do is this shade from the Escape Pod, the Mardi Gras. I'm going to do that all across the bottom. And I might add just a little bit of shimmer to it. We'll see how it looks when it's just the matte, but I'll probably add a shimmer as well. So there's the lower lash line. I'm going to go into a little bit more of that dark purple matte Cylon just to kind of blend it in with the outer corner. There we go. I actually don't hate it with just the matte, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of Nebula, and I'm just going to pop it at the very bottom of the lower lash line. I want to keep that lighter purple in the inner corner as much as possible, but just a little touch of that pink I think will be nice. There we go. That is pretty much it for the eye look. Now we're just going to add mascara and some lashes, and then we'll take a look and see if we need to add any finishing touches. Alright, so we took care of the lashes. I went ahead and darkened my teeny tiny pathetic little lashes with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And then I added, these are zombie lashes. These are from Dazzle Me Dead Cosmetics. I am in love with these. Next payday, a bitch is going to order like 3 or 4 extra pairs because they are fluffy and huge and ridiculous, and they're everything I need in my life. So now let's fix up these brows. You probably noticed these pathetic brow shapes that I have. Don't worry, we're not stopping there. I just drew on the basic shape of the brow, and yes, I know, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. These are barely cousins, but we're going to fix it a little bit. We're going to get them closer to sisters, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set them with some powder. So I'm going to use Cylon from the Club Nebula palette, and I'm going to go ahead and set the entire shape of the brow and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Alright, there we go. I don't know if they are sisters necessarily, but they're probably now at least first cousins, maybe? So that's the boring part. I just set the whole shape with shadow and I kind of cleaned them up a little bit. Now we're going to add some shimmer. So I'm going to take a little bit of Cosmic Cabaret, that brighter purple, and I'm going to do that just in the front part of the brow. just use a finger to kind of swoop it through and out so it kind of blends out, and there we have a nice ombre brow. Now, even though we're doing a purple look, I am a whore for greens. We know this. So I'm going to take that duochrome shade Firefly down here, and I'm going to use that just to kind of color in underneath the brow a little bit. That little bit of color that I like to do and kind of highlight underneath the brow. That brings in a little bit of that green tone, and it's got some purpley pink kind of reflect in it that works well with the rest of the look. So the eye look is done. This eye look is so much better than what I was going to do anyway, even if it had worked out. Damn it. Alright, so now to move on to the cheeks, buffing up a little bit more of this contour and adding some blush. And highlighter, obviously. I'm going to start with the Manny MUA Lunar Beauty Moon Prism palette. And I'm going to use a combination of Gravity and Spacey, these two darker shades. I'm going to start with Gravity and kind of buff that into the contour that I already have down. And then I'm going to start to work up to where I'm going to have the blush with Spacey. Next, I'm going to go into Soleil, and I'm going to use that on the apples of the cheeks and work it down. Pretty, but I feel like the pink in that shade kind of disappears and you just get the sort of golden peachy reflect. So I want to add a little bit more pink into this cheek. Pinky cheeks. Pinky cheeks. So I'm going to use the Trixie Cosmetics Dead Eyed Dolls from Your Nightmares palette. Oh, I mean the Summer of Love palette. And I'm going to use this shade Girl on Girl just to add a little bit more pink back into my cheeks. It's subtle. I did dip just a tiny little bit into the darker pink shade as well. Side chick. But this is the finished cheek. Alright, so for highlight, I'm going to go ahead and use the Ofra Retrograde highlighter. Now this is a combination of Neptune and I believe it's Star Island. And I'm going to start with the Neptune shade, just the purple. And then on the very kind of high parts of the cheekbone, I'm going to add a little bit of this as well. So I put some highlight on, and I also used the Neptune side, the purple side, down the center, so on the little tip of my nose, on the Cupid's bow, and a little touch on the chin. Now, because this is Club Nebula and it's space-themed, we have to have a little bit of glitter. So I'm going to use the Trixie Cosmetics Sprinkle in the color Lava Lamp. This is kind of an iridescent purple, and I'm just going to add that kind of over the highlight. I'll use a little bit of NYX glitter glue to help it stick. Alright, so there is the Lava Lamp glitter applied. I like that the iridescent has a little bit of green to it, because I think that ties in nicely with the green duochrome that's underneath the brows. Now we just have to add a lip, and we're done. Alright, so for somebody who owns all the makeup, somehow I don't have just like a purple liquid lipstick here. So what I'm going to do is I have this kind of berry toned. This is from LA Colors. This is a matte liquid lipstick. And then I'm going to go over it. I found this from MAC. This was a top coat that was in my drawer. And I think this with the Nebula, I think that's going to be pretty. So we're going to try out this lip and we're going to see how it goes. And we're going to hope it works.
Which is fine. Just take a look at your eyes from earlier and everything is better.
Yeah. I'm going to put a picture of that in the video so that people know, like, it goes off the rails sometimes.
Yeah.
So I do like the color of this with the look. So if this top coat kind of fucks everything up, then we'll just go with this. I'll go ahead and reapply. But let's try the top coat. It's an experiment. It's like science.
I know I'm being very symmetrically bugging today, but your left looks like it's
my
smaller.
lips are never the same.
You must be perfect. I want to continue viewing you as perfection in my eyes.
That's right. Melted in with the other lipstick, but I like the color that it made, so we're gonna stick with it. Alright, we are back, and this is the look with the drag applied. So, what do we think? This is the final look using the Escape Pod and Club Nebula palettes from Kaleidos Makeup. I'm pleased with how this came out. It's certainly better than that train wreck that I was working with at the beginning, but I'm excited about this. I love it. This was easy to blend. It was easy to work with. I think the shimmers are gorgeous, and these lashes from Dazzle Me Dead are everything and more that I need in my life. So, I don't know. Let me know down below. What do you think? Do you love the purple? I was planning a different color scheme for this filming day, but I'm actually kind of loving it. So, let me know down below all of your thoughts. So that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to go down and give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. It's engagement either way. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. While you're down there, don't forget that you can subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll get notified of all future uploads. I upload at least once a week, usually on Tuesdays, and sometimes I even have a bonus video for you. Ooh, saucy. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box, including a link to my website, theworldofchampagne@janessaj.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. I am loving this purple moment. And until I see you again, bye. We can stop it. I'll go ahead and just do the other eye, since they saw that one process. They don't need to. I'm always trying to find ways to make these shorter.
Yeah.
Although people do kind of watch them.